Only a few quick tries at the end stopped the whitewash. The missed 42, the Scary Faces 16. The Eels 4. I'm not sure about Scary Faces, by the way. Eels 40, West Tigers 12. We got 2 fan reviews on this. One from David Hunter, who said, just wanted to say, Mark warned everyone about Joey Lussick near the line. The Tigers didn't do their homework. And NRL Review said, this makes me think it's David Hunter, by the way, who's behind NRL Reviews, because the Eels don't get a stupid nickname, they just get their name. He said the Eels play a real power game and poor Kittens couldn't go with them. The offload game from the Eels returned and they simply cut them up. The game got a little heated, but Mitchell Moses warmed them up some milk and they went back to sleep. Eels 40, Kittens 12. Last but not least, Alan, today's match, the Bulldogs 28, the Dragons 6. Luke Thompson continues his imposing NRL form, 167 metres for him. NRL Reviews said, the mouth breathers just looked out of it today. The puppies bit back and through some great play from Jake Armadillo got out to an 8-point lead in the early in the second half. From there it was all puppies with some very soft defence. The Thompson twin was reliable again and the mouth breathers just couldn't hold him now. Puppies 28, mouth breeders 6. And David Hunter said, I had the Dragons in the top 8 in my pre-season tips. I feel sorry now. It is a long way from their round 5 performance against Parramatta now. Do you want to take us through... Actually, you can't take us through the standings, can you? Because they weren't even complete until after I sent the rundown to you. So the standings were... Storm take over at the top on points difference after back-to-back defeats for the Panthers. Both sides have 24 points, with the Eels and Rabbitohs just behind on 22 points. Roosters have 20, then a gap back to Seagulls on 16 and Cowboys on 14, and then a group of 4 on 12, the Dragons, the Sharks, the Raiders and the Warriors. Titans, Tigers and Knights have 10 points. Broncos and Bulldogs are at the bottom, both have 6 points. Do you have any observations to make on the NRL this week whilst I catch my breath, Alan?
The only thing I would say is that that's a lot of new nicknames and things to process for us. So thank you for introducing us to a lot of new terms. I'd be lying if I said I welcomed it, but there you go.
It was enjoyable. I can't. If you're gonna do it next week, David, because I know it's you. Come on. The Eels thing gave it away. But if you're gonna do it next week, fucking send them through on your Sunday, not your Monday. Because then someone else can read them.
Yeah, because you're in the bloody future. You should know these things, honestly. I understand there was a little bit of feedback about another form of rugby league that's also not in my rundown.
Yes, but we did get a good rundown from Alex Chandler at League Chandler, of course our Scotland Rugby League correspondent, about the Celtic Cup wheelchair tournament that was played this weekend. So Alex said, a great day in Edinburgh and such a welcome sight to see competitive international wheelchair rugby league return. I'm gonna interject there and say, put a question mark around the competitive. But international wheelchair rugby league return after what has felt like a very long year in the sport. Wales were dominant and showing why they are number 3 ranked team in the world. The sheer speed of play of the ball, their quick setting up of plays and evasiveness in the tackle, the standout reason to a rather one-sided scorelines. Though it can't be said that they didn't face spirited opposition. Ireland and Scotland showing guts, and with parts of Scotland still being in the higher levels of COVID restrictions until the week of the tournament, the Celtic Cup was the first time many of these players had met in person. The difference in the first game between Ireland and Scotland mainly coming down to missed conversions, as Ireland only crossing the line once more than Scotland. There were moments from both teams against Wales, with both Ireland and Scotland crossing late in some good play, and certainly for Scotland approaching the Rugby League World Cup, they'll have a decent idea on what to work on, and now the team can train in person and not on Zoom will only improve. Congratulations to Wales on their 5th Celtic Cup win. They've certainly confirmed my thinking that England, France and Australia will have another team in the running to win the Rugby League World Cup at the end of this year. And the results were, in Game 1, Scotland 32, Ireland 52. In Game 2, Wales 96, Ireland 16. And in Game 3, Scotland 18, Wales 102. So it's not just Origin that has one-sided scores.
I mean, to be fair to them, I think, game planning on Zoom is probably suboptimal, to say the least. So yeah, I'm sure they'll all be delighted to be to see each other face to face.
Yeah, and that Wales team have players who've already had a couple of rounds of the Super League, haven't they? At least a couple of games in the Super League, because they'll turn out for the North Wales side in that, won't they? So even more advantage to that side, not just because of the sort of difference in restrictions and training restrictions and that sort of stuff. So not surprising that Wales came out the winners. Hopefully, the next time this is played, it can be closer gaps, and Scotland can prepare for the World Cup too in the interim. Definitely. That's everything on other results. And I'm really pleased that we got something in on the wheelchair stuff. I must say, I had a weekend where I didn't get the chance to take in that much rugby league, so I only watched the 2 Super League games and didn't follow anything else at all from anywhere else. So thanks for all the fan views, even the ones that are a bit left field, because it's helped us understand a little bit more, some instances a little bit less, about what actually happened around the world of rugby league this weekend. So thanks everyone for that. We're now going to move into our predictions.
Okay, so we move on to the predictions / guesses, and that's even more the case as we now enter we don't know which day the games are happening type time of the year.
We're going to move into we don't know what days the shows are happening soon, so
oh, it's all exciting. We'll find out soon.
Yeah.
But yes, so the first game of this week, I'm not going to say weekend. This first game of this week is tomorrow. That's right, isn't it? It's Wednesday tomorrow. No, it's Tuesday tomorrow.
It's Wednesday tomorrow when people will be listening. Because no one will manage to listen to the whole show in the half an hour after we get it up before it turns into Tuesday. So, yeah.
No, that's true. Okay, well, as we're recording, it's in 2 days' time. But as you're listening, who knows? Anyway, Wednesday, 7:45 on Sky. It's Wakefield against Castleford. What do you say, Mark?
I don't know what Cass are playing at the moment in terms of like their intensity that they're approaching these league matches with, and what their general fitness is more than anything else, to be honest. Because I know they've got some injuries within all of these, kind of to put a bit of perspective around the poor performance last week. But because I can't say what they're playing at, and Wakefield have been really good at home in the last month, I'm going to go Wakefield by 8.
You could make a strong argument for that. I think ultimately Cass are a better team, even if they've got all the problems that you're suggesting that they do have. I still think they're a better team. So Cass to get slightly back on track, but not by much. Cass by 4.
And I think Cass do need to get back on track, so I would, building up to a Challenge Cup final that I hope they win, I would want them to get back on track and start getting bodies back. So I would prefer your outcome, but
we don't know.
We're making guesses, aren't we? Actually, we should actually. Why are we making guesses? We'll know that we can actually look at what squads have been announced on this one, because it
will make very little difference to my guesses.
Well, but let's have a look anyway. So Tom Johnston is available, but he was last week. Matty Ashurst returns. Jordan Crowther is also in the 21 squad. So that is good for Wakefield. They're getting stronger. However, so are Cass. So Niall Evans, Daniel Smith, Gareth O'Brien, all come back in. Although Adam Milner, James Clare, Lewis Bienek, and Brad Graham drop out from the squad for the Hull loss. So Evalds coming back in, and Daniel Smith, I think, are 2 massive additions. There's still no Truman for Cass, but I think O'Brien will give them more. Ooh, I might change it now. No, I'm going to stick with it. And say we still don't quite know what we're getting from Cass. They're going to be building, and so yeah, I'm sticking with Wakey to win.
Okay, so Thursday, 7:45 p.m. also on Sky. Big match. It's St Helens against Warrington. And I am going to say, I think Saints probably just on this one. Week off and everything. Even though Warrington are playing well, I'm going to say Saints by 2. What about yourself?
Yeah, I find this hard to pick. I think the week off will have helped St Helens at this stage. It's not going to do them any favours down the line, but at this stage I think it helps them. Warrington have shown some defensive fallibility whilst their attack's been really good. Now, your attack has to be really, really good against St Helens. I think Saints will edge it. I think Saints have got more than Warrington have got to win a low-scoring game. So I think it'll be Saints by 4.
Okie dokie. So, first of 2 games on Friday.
And it might be stormed, mightn't it, by that point? It might be thunderstorm time. So if it's wet, I even more lean towards Saints in that game.
Possible. Friday, 7:45. It's Huddersfield against Salford. What do you reckon? Is there any hope for Salford?
There is, because Huddersfield are under a COVID cloud.
That's true.
And whilst they've managed to get some players back into training, there's going to be the players who had the positives that won't be able to play in the game still, you would think. Wouldn't they still be under their 10 days?
You'd think so.
And then you've got the players who had the close contacts that won't be able to train and will be tested and tested and tested right up until the point, I think. So I think that's where Salford's hope comes from. That, and maybe if Richard Marshall hasn't been able to inspire something in this Salford side, maybe coming up against their former coach who did inspire them so much might be able to inspire something. Salford were so bad though, weren't they? So bad in contact. Huddersfield by 2.
Huddersfield have tripped me up tipping more than any other team this year. They're completely unpredictable. I don't think much of Salford, but just for shits and giggles, I'm going to go Salford by 6.
Do you know what? I really do think it's feasible. That's the only reason why I've gone like such a close margin, really, because if Salford lose, they probably will lose by 10, 20 points.
Yeah.
Or 20 or 30 points, but the way they've been defending. But
who knows? Anyway, also on Friday, it's Wigan against Hull KR. This is a KR are in form, but I really can't see beyond Wigan for this one. Even all things taken into account, I would say Wigan by 10 on this one.
Yeah, Wigan should hopefully get some players back, even though they won't be able to call on any of their first choice fullbacks. They should have some other players back. I would suspect it's another week for Gildart. I can't see how he won't be playing in this game. Wigan will need to put a lot into this game as well, because you'd expect Wigan to be one of the teams that loses a few players to the Combies game. So first game back in front of a home crowd as well. Let's not jinx it too much, but first game back in front of a home crowd for Wigan. I think Wigan by 8. Even though I would say Hull KR are a type of team, the way they play it is challenging for Wigan, because Wigan have a very good organised and very good scrambling defence, but Hull KR have big ball players physically. Like Jordan Abdul is really a ball playing 13 in any other era. Kenny Dowell and Takarangi are big guys in the centre. Ryan Hall's massive too. But I'm going Wigan by 8.
Okie dokie. Then we're moving to 2 games on Saturday, the first of which is at 3 o'clock. It's Lee against Hull FC. What do you think?
You just can't tip Lee, can you?